Hello students, welcome back. Welcome back to our digital classroom. In my today's video, I'm going to discuss with you all double forms of the comparative and superlative degree. But before going to move forward the today's content, let's have a revision what we have done before. So, in the previous video, I have discussed with you all comparison of adjectives, and I discussed that there are three degrees of comparison. First one that is positive degree, second one that is comparative degree, and the last one that is superlative degree. Now, as I've already told you that positive degree is used in simple form, and it talks about mere existence of its quality where no comparison is made. Comparative degree, generally we make comparative degree in adding some suffixes like mostly er we generally add in comparative degree in order to make it comparative, and such suffixes are used in positive adjectives, right? And it is generally used when two set of things are compared. It denotes higher degree of quality than the positive. Now the last one that is superlative degree, here also we add suffix, and it is used when we talk about more than two set of things, and when two set of things are compared. Now it denotes highest degree of quality of all. Now, then we talked about formation, how comparative degree and superlative degree are formed. So, the rule number one, which we have talked about, that was the simple rule that is most of the time is applied, that adjectives formed by adding er and est. Now, er is added in comparative degree and est is added in superlative degree. So, for example, you can see sweet, sweeter, sweetest, small, smaller, smallest. So in these two examples you can find out that in comparative degree we have used the suffix er, and sweetest and smallest here in these two examples we have used the suffix est. So this is what we have talked about, rule number 1, in which we add er and est at the end. Then the the rule number two, that was adjectives ends in e, r, st. What we do? Generally we use r and st. So brave, braver, bravest, fine, finer, finest. Rule number 3, we talked about adjectives ends in y preceded by a consonant, means just before that if there is a consonant, the y is changed into I. So that particular y, the letter y, is changed into I before adding er and est. So similar, so this is what happens with happy. So happy, instead of y, what we have done, we have written I, and er and est is added as we have added in the previous ones. Then rule number 4 talks about that when adjectives more than two syllables ends in one consonant preceded by a short vowel, the consonant doubled. So that in the examples you can see red, redder, reddest, big, bigger, biggest. Here the consonant D in the first example and the second one G, that is doubled. So students, in this today's video, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss double forms of comparative and superlative degree. Now, first one we have taken up later and latter, these two words, which are often confused. We all often get confused with these two words, later and latter. You remember latter it is used to refer position, whereas later is used to refer time. For example, he is later than I expected. Now here we are talking about time. Second one, the latter chapters are lacking in interest. Now, first of all, you need to remember here that generally we use latter with former. So former and latter we use together. Now suppose when I say, I'm giving you one example, Ram and Shyam are my friends. The former I met earlier, the latter I met yesterday. So, in this particular example, what I talked about Ram and Shyam, there are two persons, and the first name which I took for that person, that is Ram. For Ram, I used former, and Shyam, for Shyam, I used latter. So, the latter one which we talk is that person about whom we talk about later, right? So, that is what the meaning of latter. Now the next one is latest and last. Now latest also refers to time. For example, I have not heard the latest news. Now last refers to position. The last chapter is carelessly written. Now here we are talking about position. Now the next one is elder, eldest, older, oldest. So here you remember, elder and eldest are used only of persons, not of animals or things, and are now confined to members of the same family. Elder is not used with than. Older and oldest are used of both persons and things. Now, for example, John is my elder brother. So here elder is used as a positive adjective. It is used as a simple adjective, right? Although it looks comparative, but than is not used with elder. Now, in the second one, older than can be used. It can be used in a comparative form also, and that is why in the example it's given he is older than his sister. Now, the next one is farther and further. Both farther and further are used to express distance. That you need to remember. They both are used to express distance. Further, not farther, is used to mean additional, and that is why I've written here in bracket. Further also means in addition to or additional. For example, Kolkata is farther from the equator than Colombo. Now, in this particular example, when we have used farther, we are talking about distance. But in the second example, further denotes not distance, but it denotes the meaning additional. For example, after this he made no further remarks. Means after this he made no additional remarks. Then the last one, the last pair of words, nearest and next. Now, nearest is used in order to denote shortest distance away, whereas next is used to denote one of a sequence of things coming one after the other. For example, where is the nearest port? Here we are talking about, by mistake here it's given full stop, it should be only a question mark. So where is the nearest port? Here we are talking about distance. In the second example, my uncle lives in the next house. We are talking about again the distance only, but the sequence, right? One after the other. After this, students, so in this particular video, we have discussed about from the beginning, we are revising what we have discussed about. So we were discussing about the double forms of comparative and superlative. At first, we have started our video with later and latter. As I've already told you that later refers to time and latter refers to position. Okay. Now the next one, latest, last. Latest refers to time, last refers to position. Elder, eldest, older, oldest. So elder and eldest generally they are used, these words are used with persons, not for animals or things, whereas older and oldest are used both with persons or with things. Here you need to remember that with the word elder we don't use than. Now the next one is farther and further. Farther and further both these words are used in order to express distance. But further is also used in the meaning of additional. Now the last one which we discussed, nearest and next. Nearest means shortest distance away, and next is used, that is for one of a sequence of things coming one after the other. And now this is your assignment, students, that you're going to complete on your language copy. You have to make 3 columns, and first column you have to write positive, second column you have to write comparative, and the third column you have to write superlative. And you need to write the 3 forms, the other 2 forms here. For example, shameful, that is already given positive. So what can be the comparative and superlative degree of shameful? So it should be more shameful, most shameful. Similarly, clever, cleverer, cleverest. Right? Pretty, prettier, prettiest, or you can also write more pretty, most pretty. So in that way, you need to write all these. So I hope, students, you have understood this video. Whatever I have discussed in this video, you have understood. And if you have any doubts, if you have any queries, any question, you can ask in the comment section. Next video will be the last video on adjective, in which I'm going to talk about the other things and some common errors which we do in adjectives. Apart from that, in the next video, that will be a bit lengthy, I'm also going to discuss some of the exercises of this particular book, that is Renan Martin. So some exercises I'm going to discuss in the next video. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.